An oligarchy is not a system most associate with the United States. We are taught about democracy, about a government by and for the people. Yet as power and wealth become increasingly concentrated in the hands of a few, a chilling question emerges. Is America slowly morphing into an oligarchy? President Biden, in his farewell address, issued a stark warning about this very danger. He highlighted the growing chasm between the ultra-wealthy and everyday Americans. This concentration of wealth, he argued, poses a direct threat to the core tenets of a functioning democracy. Adding fuel to these concerns is the reality of the current administration. Former President Trump has assembled what experts are calling the wealthiest cabinet in U.S. history. This collection of billionaires, many with direct ties to major industries, are now in positions to shape policy directly impacting their own financial interests. The situation becomes even more concerning with the emergence of entities like the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. This group, spearheaded by Elon Musk, operates outside traditional government channels. Its stated goal is to drastically reduce the federal budget, but critics fear it will primarily serve to further empower the wealthy at the expense of social programs vital to ordinary citizens. This is not the first time alarm bells have sounded about oligarchic tendencies in the U.S. Our history is replete with examples, from the founding fathers, many of whom were wealthy landowners, to the era of the robber barons. These industrialists, men like J.P. Morgan, wielded immense economic and political influence, often shaping the nation's trajectory to serve their own ends. The current climate draws unsettling parallels to Reagan's Grace Commission in the 1980s. This commission, composed primarily of business leaders, was tasked with finding ways to reduce the federal deficit. Their recommendations, focused heavily on privatization and deregulation, were criticized for disproportionately benefiting corporations and the wealthy. Today we see a similar pattern emerging. The DOGE, with its emphasis on slashing regulations and shrinking government, appears to be cut from the same cloth. This raises serious questions about whether these initiatives are truly in the best interests of all Americans, or primarily serve to solidify the power of an elite few.
Despite the alarming trends, there are those who downplay the notion that the U.S. is sliding toward oligarchy. They argue that wealth doesn't automatically translate to absolute political control. After all, even with their vast resources, billionaires have poured money into political campaigns that ultimately failed. They point to the democratic process itself as a safeguard against such a dramatic shift in power. The very act of voting, they contend, ensures that the will of the people ultimately prevails. Additionally, they highlight the role of institutions like the free press and independent judiciary as crucial checks on the potential excesses of the wealthy and powerful. While the counter-arguments hold some merit, the potential dangers posed by the current trajectory cannot be ignored. The sheer concentration of wealth and its growing influence in politics represent a clear and present danger to the ideals of a fair and equitable society. If left unchecked, this trend could have far-reaching consequences. Regulations designed to protect consumers and the environment could be weakened or dismantled. Social safety net programs, already under strain, could face further cuts, leaving the most vulnerable segments of society even more exposed. The future of American democracy hinges on our ability to address this growing imbalance of power. Strengthening campaign finance laws, promoting transparency in government, and fostering a more engaged and informed citizenry are all crucial steps in safeguarding the principles of a government that truly represents the interests of all its people. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Blue Mindset 2.0 for more insightful videos.